What is going on, guys? It is your boy TKD123 here back in a video, and as you can see here, this is obviously a totally different video here, and I decided I'm going to do an interview, right? So, this week's video is mainly about PSX and everything, and with me here, I have Isaiah. Isaiah, introduce yourself.
What's up, man? How
you
doing?
Doing good myself, and we are, interviewing Isaiah here just because he went to PSX, right? And not only did he go this year, he went last year as well. So I feel like it was very important to have someone here that can compare and contrast both shows, because they were both very different, in how they actually debuted stuff and everything. So just to start off with, I don't plan my interviews. I just want to have a nice conversation here with Isaiah. And so mainly I want to ask, just in comparison to last year and this year, how does this year stack up? Now, obviously, it's only 2 years, but did you prefer last year? Did you prefer this year, etc.? Just go off of that first.
Well, okay, so to start off with which one I prefer, I definitely think show-wise, as in showcasing all the new games and stuff, I would take last year. It was more of a press conference. This year felt more like a panel.
Yeah.
But as in terms of just the show floor, I would definitely pick this year. I've heard a lot of people tell me that this was the closest thing to like a video game amusement park. And so yeah, I think there were goods and bads. I wouldn't even call it bads. I would just say differences. But
so just to elaborate on that, like what was this year, what they did with the overall PSX, what was better in terms of this year as opposed to last year?
Oh, okay, definitely, for sure. Bigger is probably the biggest thing. They had only 2 halls open at the Anaheim Convention Center last year, and this time they had all 4 halls open, and it was great because it was more spread out. All the booths were 10 times larger, so I definitely think they did good on that part.
Okay.
And I like that they sold. This year, what they did was they had early bird tickets for people who could go to the show the night before. They opened up the whole show floor, so yeah, they definitely fixed a bunch of things this year that made it better, and I think that made a lot of people happy.
Right. Now, just a big thing that was different about this PSX, and what I've gotten, through people that have been adding me on Twitter and stuff like that, and people that have asked online through comments and everything, is that, as opposed to last year's and, every single one before this year, it was definitely a press conference. Like, it was more of like what you'll see where they go to Paris Games Week, Tokyo Game Show, E3.
Right.
What I'm saying? Like, it was a very traditional conference type of thing, right? It was
Yes,
kind of like their, not that they didn't have any in the show, prior to any shows, but they would just save kind of the one of, or if not the best first party titles, for PSX, for us, because it's, a conference that they can control. It's their conference and it's PlayStation centric, so it's easier for them to, debut kind of the more, fan niche side of things and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
The big thing about this year, obviously, and of course as well, was that they didn't really have a conference, and a lot of people compared it to a talk show in a way, and not only because there was couches literally on the actual stream, whatever, stuff like that, but just in the way that they were conveying information and having a lot of people out there and everything. It was more of just a conversation. So basically what I'm saying here is, like, out of the both ends, right? Like, out of the talk show format that they had this year versus the conference, do you prefer the conference way of doing it, or did you enjoy the talk show-esque way of doing things?
I definitely prefer the conference because it's more entertaining. Let's face it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more, you sit down and it is a show. It's not just really a way for them to deliver information. It's a show.
Right.
Like, you sit down and you enjoy, and they have the lights and all these amazing trailers come on, and yeah, I think the reason why they had a talk show this year, and this is just from my opinion, I think it's because they had E3 and Paris Games Week this year, and I think that most, if not all, of their major launch titles, you have like God of War, Spider-Man, The Last of Us Part 2, all these major games that were shown at E3, well, some of them at E3 and then Paris Games Week.
Yeah.
And I think by the time PSX came around, there wasn't much they wanted to show. And so I think it was more along the lines of just interviewing and getting to know more about PSX. And because, you know, PSX has only been around for, what is it? I think like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Maybe. Probably not even that.
4 years, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So I still think they're trying to spread it and get people to know, like, hey, we have this amazing time dated every year for people who specifically play PlayStation. So I think that's more of what this talk show was about, and I can see why people are not really upset about it, but you know, focus more on, well, why are they doing this instead of a press conference, because it is different.
I mean, me personally speaking, just like being obviously someone from the outside in looking in, right, I think we have an issue here right now with seemingly PlayStation blowing their load, for a lack of, you know, terminology. Like, I feel like you know, we know so much about these games, and the fact that we're still waiting to come out, obviously, and they're coming out 2018, and it's almost as if like they kind of have every studio either working on something that's so early to even be shown and be relevant, or that they are on the brink of dropping all these games. Like, for example, how many times have we seen Detroit Become Human in any conference? How many times have we seen God of War? Both of those don't have a release date. God of War, wait, I just said that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, Spider-Man as well. But like, we have a lot of these, you know, first-party games where I'm actually surprised that, as far as I can tell, you know, and like, even the difficult thing about this PSX also was that following the actual news, because to me it seemed a little bit more sporadic without having a conference, having like a central point of like, yes, like, you know, this year's PSX is about these games and these announcements right here, right? And one night, one neat conference that you can go back and watch through, just like with the Video Game Awards that they did the night prior, right? And, you know, with them having like this talk show rolling thing, it was like, yeah, there was the opening ceremony on, I believe it was Friday, where they showed like the bulk of the stuff, right? But then there was also some new stuff trickled throughout the entire weekend, you know? So it was a little bit hard for me to actually follow as well, you know, not only being because I work and everything, stuff like that, but also in terms of like, you know, it's a different format of not, you know, just having everything in one clean, nice pile instead of, you know, it being just kind of like spread out across the weekend and everything. But, yeah, I mean, just for me personally, I feel like they definitely have just a lot of things that are down the pipeline and they're just almost here, but just not quite there. At least, so correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm pretty sure no games got an official date yet.
No,
and by,
in fact,
yeah, and by the main games, I mean like Detroit, God of War, Spider-Man. Obviously, Death Stranding and Last of Us 2 are literally years out. Like, if you think, if you think that you're getting Last of Us 2 in 2018,
you're insane.
You're absurd. Thank you so much. Thank you for not being those, because I see it. I see people on Twitter that really think that Last of Us 2 is coming out in 2018. I'm like, you're
not
crazy.
Happening.
You're crazy, right?
It's just not happening.
But even with these games that are confirmed, you know, to be 2018 games, Dreams being one of them as well, that finally got unveiled and shown in like a renewed skin and everything, you know, and the likes of God of War, Detroit, and the fact that we really still don't have a release date for them is what really took me aback about PSX. You know what I'm saying? Because at least from a person that didn't go, obviously, and that is just looking at it from the outside in, I would have assumed that PSX was going to be a place that we were going to get the release dates, you know?
Yeah, and I am a little disappointed that it wasn't that, because, you know, you have all these games who are already said they're going to be next year, and yet here we are almost into that year without any release dates. And so I just feel like PSX probably would have been a good time for them to do that. But again, it is something for, and it sounds terrible, but it is for the people there. It's something that I specifically think is made for fans to come to instead of to showcase stuff, because like you said, we got all these things. We got like E3 and Paris Games Week and Tokyo Game Show, all these things where they're made for showcasing stuff, and PSX is more of it is an experience, you know, like I feel like they call it that for a reason, but they still showcase things, like even though it's made for fans, they still showcase things, and it totally would have been a perfect opportunity for them to announce release dates, because that totally would have brought in more people to watch PSX if they heard, oh, this date was announced at PSX, or this date is coming then and it came from PSX. So
yeah. I'm just like still sitting here like baffled that we really didn't get dates, because like I felt like you know, after Paris Games Week when we saw these games again and still no dates, I'm like, okay, then it has to be a PSX. Like there is no way they could feasibly go into 2018 having all these games and really not having not even one date. Like not even one of them sells a date. Not even, we have like early 2018 for God of War. We have early 2018 for Detroit Become Human. Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? Like we have windows, but if we're not even a month out from 2018, windows aren't gonna cut it. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like you gotta have these dates. I agree. Like we got come on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And for me just predicting, I would have expected them to drop God of War around the February-March area of things, like to kind of be like 2018's Horizon, where it's that heavy hitting first party, you know, like top of the year, let's start with a bang, you know. I totally thought that would have been God of War. Absolutely. And plus on top of that, we got those leaks of it being March 22nd, and then that was a Thursday, so they assumed it was March 23rd, and they you know, we're saying that like the leak from that March 22nd date was from people in the UK, I believe, or some other country where the timing and the days were off, you know what I'm saying, by like a day. But that, you know, wasn't a thing. But I just have this article here. I want to jump into something that was said during the show. So were you there on Friday? Were you there on Friday at the panel? Or
no, I was in the hotel room watching it. Right, we did not. I went with my two other cousins, and we did not get early bird tickets, so we didn't.
Right. Okay. So your main experience was the main floor and everything. Did you go in? Right. Was there any panels you attended that?
Oh yeah, we went to 3 of them. We went to Ghost of Tsushima, the Uncharted 10th anniversary panel, and The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh my gosh, that means you saw my man's Greg Miller in the flesh.
Oh man, in the flesh.
In the flesh.
In fact,
in the flesh. Don't tell me you got a picture with him.
I didn't get a picture, but
been so jealous.
I'm not trying to. But we did go to on Thursday night. We went to Video Game Awards, and Greg was there, and I remember him walking up the aisle.
What?
And my cousin telling me, "No way." He's like, "What?" He's like, "There's no like that's Greg Miller." I'm like, "Oh." Like, that can't be him. And then when the show was over, we went out into the lobby. I saw him standing there, and I'm like, I got to do it. So I walk over there, and I shook his hand, and I got to talk to him just for a brief moment, you know, just kind of like, you know, I love Kind of Funny and all that. But
okay, look here. This is a PlaystationFollower channel, of course. You know, please like, subscribe if you are watching the video right now. But I am a Kind of Funny best friend, and I'm not afraid to admit that. You know what I'm saying? I've known Greg since like IGN beyond days. You know what I'm saying? But
yep, absolutely.
Beside that rant, I love Greg Miller. But beside the point, he was interviewing Sean Layden, right? And Sean Layden. Well, before we get to his answer, Greg Miller asked the infamous question that we've all been waiting for years: when are we going to be able to change our PSN names? You know. And then Sean Layden. Well, oh wait. Were you at this panel? Were you at this panel or?
No, this was the one Friday.
That was Friday night. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, so, but yeah. I'm sure you've heard about it, so I'll just ask for your comment on it. What do you think about his hint and his answer about being within the next year we won't ask that question anymore? You know, so it's not really a confirm of like it'll happen in 2018, but he basically said by PSX 2018 we won't ask this question anymore.
Yeah. From what it sounded like, and this is just me being brutally honest, I feel like he is saying that so that way PSN fans will, you know, be happy about that. And I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope that he really does follow through with that statement, but I just don't know. I feel like it seems a little too good to be true because we've been waiting for so long for that, and I just don't know if that's actually possible for them to make that happen.
I truly do believe that they are being truthful when they say, hey, we have coders, we have programmers working on the actual infrastructure of the network and trying to make name changes work, because apparently, you know, I mean, let's be honest, the PSN, especially during PS3 days, was crap. You know, like the PS Store was essentially just an online browser. There was no cross-game voice chat, and of course that also has to go into the limitations of the actual PS3 console. But overall, you know, the PSN is like a weaker built, you know, it's weaker built in comparison to the Xbox Live. You know what I'm saying? So I believe them when they say, you know, that they, you know, have people working on it, and that is just a weird thing to incorporate with the PSN and everything like that. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I like Sean Layden. I love him. Totally.
I think he's a good guy.
Andrew House. Shout out to Andrew House.
Yeah.
Shout out to the boy. It's really sad, man. He's been there for like what 20, 30 years, some crazy number like that.
Oh man, long time. Sad. Yeah, he came out with like a tribute at the Video Game Awards.
Yeah,
and
I saw his speech
in that room. That was a little down.
I know this is about PSX, but I want to talk about I want to talk about VGAs too, because Andrea Renee didn't win. So sad. So sad. I voted every day for Andrea. Yeah. But going back to PSX, just to kind of wrap things up a little bit, what were the games that really stuck out to you from what they showed, what they announced? What were kind of the big games at PSX, or that you played and had hands-on with? What were kind of the big games that stood out to you personally?
Yeah, well, let me just put it out there. What they did this year was so much better. What they did is, because you get an app when you get your badge, you get an app, and in the app you are able to, at a certain time, you get to schedule appointments for when you go to a demo. And it's I remember it was at, I don't remember what time it was, but basically right when it hit the clock, you get in that app and you hit that appointment and you schedule that appointment to play, because obviously everybody wants to play it, but they can't get everybody to play it because everybody's gonna be sitting in line for 3 hours. So me and my cousins, we all were sitting around waiting to play scheduled Detroit. And we scheduled it after, it was either that or the new Shadow of Colossus remake, by the way, bravo.
I never played the original Shadow of the Colossus, so between those two, I would have totally picked Detroit, but
right, and that's kind of what it was. It was like between the two, like, you know, we have one game that's a remake and one that's never been seen before. So I of course wanted to, and plus I just think Detroit is a little more interesting looking than you know, Shadow remake. So we scheduled to play that after all of our panels that we wanted to go and see, and I would say out of all the games I got to play, because a lot of the games were, you know, you have Call of Duty World War II, Destiny 2, Battlefront 2. You know, all these games that had pretty much just came out that were there. We played a lot of those, but the only games that were new that, you know, that aren't out yet that you could play were pretty much Shadow of the Colossus and Detroit. So Detroit was obviously my favorite to play. They only had the hostage sequence, but it was a blast.
Was it the hostage one? Not the one they showed at PSX with the father like beating his child.
No, they did not have that one.
Gotcha. I see.
I kind of wish they had that one, brutal, but
that one sold me on the game. I'm like, I'm getting this game day one. I have to.
Yeah,
like, I have to.
Oh yeah. And I love. I mean, seriously, Quantic Dream. They've got some balls to do that.
They're great.
So I really appreciate that.
That's great. Anything else that really stuck out to you, whether it was a new game that was shown or another game that you had booth time in?
Days Gone.
Oh, yeah. That one's also another 2018 game that we have no idea when it's coming out. Another one. There we go.
Yeah, no, in fact, they didn't even... they didn't really show anything at PSX, but they had a booth.
Didn't get PSX, VGAs, or Paris Games Week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, exactly. So I hope, you know... Yeah, I hope they got their nose down on the keyboard or something, because, you know, we haven't heard anything from it. But, the booth for Days Gone was outstanding. It was so cool. Okay. And a lot of the booths for the upcoming games, they weren't playable, obviously, but they were really cool. I really like what they did with them. I like how they made it for the people there. I mean, because I am not a God of War fan, personally. Like, I just never got into the God of War franchise. And after seeing this booth, I literally bought the whole saga because I want to play it now. So I think Yeah, they obviously did something
Yeah.
right because they made me go and buy the whole saga because I'm interested now. You know, I'm
Did you
hooked.
buy it on PS4 or?
No, I have it on PS3. I have the main
Right.
trilogy. I think that's what it is. Yeah,
I don't know if you
but,
can get it on PS4. I was wondering because I would like to replay it, but I don't have a PS3 unfortunately. So I don't know if they came out with a PS4 version or anything like that. I'm not sure if they did.
If not, they should.
Yeah, list, right? I mean, that would have been great. Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to say about PSX and everything, your experience, before we wrap up or anything? Any lasting comments or thoughts?
All I could say is I highly recommend for any PlayStation fan to go to it because it is
Gotta go.
It's the closest thing to a PlayStation amusement park.
Right.
So.
I mean, I feel like 2018 is gonna be the year where I go to PSX, but also Kind of Funny Live 4. I feel like that has to happen.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever been to Kind of Funny Live?
No,
Dude,
I haven't.
Let's make it happen. Let's do it, man.
Oh,
Let's
I'm
do
down.
It. Road trip,
Absolutely.
dog. Let's do it. First now. Thank you for
absolutely.
your time. Please let the audience know where they can find you and everything, stuff like that, if you would like, or if not, you can just keep it on. That's what we want to do. You have a Twitter you want to plug? Anything you want to plug? If not, it's all good. Just
Yeah, no, I ain't got anything. It's all good.
Thank you for your time, and thank you guys for watching as
thank
well.
you, man.
If you want to join, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, or share down below. I appreciate all the feedback you guys give me and everything. And also let me know down below in your thoughts as well down in the comments. What did you all think about PSX? Did you guys enjoy what they showed? Did you guys enjoy the debuts, the new stuff they brought with the PSX, all that good stuff? Are you excited for PSN name changes? Do you want to change your PSN name? Do you have any issues? Whatever. Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. And as always, keep on following.